I'm going through this exchange where I want to talk, but I want to listen. And I want to listen, and I don't want to talk because I want to hear. Because I know that there are some things in this man that we need. Over here, I'm always talking about spiritual enrichment, spiritual enlightenment, etc. But here, today, we've got a very anointed gift. You know, I say it like this. You've heard me say this before. Some gifts God gives to men, but some gifted men God gives to the church. Well, the reason why I called him a gift is because he is a gift to the church. He actually helps us to see the importance of taking good care of our temple, and how taking good care of our temple as stewards, good stewards, how that gives us the carryover ability to be good men, good women, good husbands, good wives, have strong families, gives us the ability to live vibrant lives. You know, sometimes we think about wealth. Well, what good is wealth without health? And so we get a chance to see why John said to Gaius, he said, listen, God's highest will above all things is that you prosper, but he wants you to be in health even as your soul prospers. He wants you to prosper, and he wants you to have wealth, but he wants you to do it as your soul prospers. He wants you to be healthy, man, be in good health. And so, Ken, I'm just honored, man, that you are well versed in what you do, and who knows where this goes from here. But let's talk a little bit about the man, the family, the man, the marriage, and then the management of the business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when we think about the wife and the family, you know, I think about a journey, you know.
A journey?
A journey.
Okay.
And the journey began in obviously California. She just graduated Pepperdine Law School, took the bar exam, and I came back home from San Diego, from the U.S. volleyball team, and I came back home to live with my family because I was released before the '96 Olympics.
Okay.
So at that point in time, I had a goal. '84, the 1984 is when the Olympics came to Los Angeles, and I got an Olympic flag when I went to those games, and put that over my bunk bed. And my dream was always to be in the Olympics.
Okay.
So I carried that as kind of like a thing I was always driving for.
So it was visualization.
Visually, and then I got released from the U.S. volleyball team in '96 that was here in Atlanta. So I didn't accomplish that goal of being on the team. I was, you know, enjoying that process, but not being on that team, there was a reason why God took me off that team.
Okay.
Because 2 months later, I met my wife.
Wow. So now, were you disheartened at the time that you?
Of course, I was trouble-hearted. I was in a dark place.
And you went back home.
I went back home.
So you were distraught, and it was almost as if the hand of God was not on your life, and nothing you had aspired to do was working out.
Yep.
But you go back home, and she is finishing up with the bar.
Yeah, it was like perfect timing because the pressure of being able to take that type of exam and pass it, you know, she was actually celebrating the night that I met her, that she was almost, you know, kind of completed it. So it was kind of a relaxing moment for her. So she was able to pass that huge exam because in Los Angeles, it's considered one of the hardest bars to pass because
wow.
That in New York, because there's too many attorneys and too many lawyers in those cities, you know what I mean, in those states. So they make it hard for a reason because there's already too many attorneys.
So now, Ken, how do you all meet then? You're
well,
disheartened.
we met at the Sagebrush Cantina. So
okay.
Through friends. Yeah, and I saw her, and my friend met her friend previous week, and she was on the dance floor, and you know, kind of we had great conversation, and then we eventually
one thing led to
yeah.
another.
So And then both of us, we talked about the Lord. We talked about God. And I kind of, at that point of my life, I was about 26 years old. And I think I was at that point where, how I really wanted to court her. And she'll tell you that she didn't think I liked her because I wanted to make sure I did it really right.
Oh, wow. That's good, though.
Old school.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess it up.
You didn't want to mess it up. So, okay, so she was getting the wrong signal because you didn't want to.
Yeah, holding hands, kissing.
Yeah. Oh, my, not used to a guy like this.
No.
But that is so awesome because now, again, you are at a pivotal point in your life where almost the enemy feels like, I got you. And God has actually set this up to be this link to your intersection point to the next phase of your destiny.
Yeah.
And that's why you called it destiny.
Yeah.
Wow. See, now that's important. And then all of a sudden, the two of you kick it off, and everything starts to go well.
We ended up, we got married, and we moved to Redondo Beach, California. Redondo Beach, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I got certified as a personal trainer, started working at Gold's Gym in Redondo Beach, so I was into personal training, and I had a passion. My studies were in exercise physiology, kinesiology.
I was about to ask that.
So I was kind of like, do I want to go into physical therapy school, and what do I want to do? So I ended up becoming a personal trainer at Gold's Gym, which is kind of how a full circle, and then just kind of marketed myself because I was a volleyball player, and I had a great certification, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, that just came out at the time, which was really, a hard certification to get. And then I had to market myself in a gym that had a ton of trainers, and how am I going to make a living? So again, that then got me into a lot of uncomfortable marketing and trying to figure out how I can make a living and support my wife and where I was going to go at the time. So I had a really close friend of mine who was on the U.S. volleyball team. His name's Jason Stinfig, who was my roommate, and his father was a firefighter in Inglewood, California. So I ended up volunteering every Friday to go.
Friends in Inglewood as well. That's good.
So I was a volunteer firefighter in the city of Inglewood for 2 years. So every Friday I'd volunteer my time because I went to fire academy and tried to become a firefighter and got into EMT. So I was wanting to be a personal trainer / firefighter.
Yeah, I see. So everything was still catering to the direction of your hunger, your aspiration. You still wanted to be in fitness somewhere.
Yeah.
You could tell that everything was.
Well, I kind of like, hey, firefighter can be some stability and then some
Okay.
personal training, just
There
keep
you
working
go.
on it. And then at that time too, I was trying to really try to get, be able to become a professional beach volleyball player, trying to find the right players, try to find the right, try to win. Because if you're not winning on the pro beach circuit, you're not making money and you're not paying your bills, So, so at that particular time, my wife was just, she believed in me.
That's so important.
So, and that's what I think is really important to know, that she was able to get on my journey, because sometimes our journey really, really looks like a crazy roller coaster. And coming to see full circle of going through some of the challenges of wanting to know what I wanted to do. I wasn't as sure as she was, because she had,
So she had the bar.
She had the bar
behind her,
and I didn't know what I was going to do.
But you said you just made a statement. She said she was able to get in your journey.
Yeah, well, she says you need to find something
for
you need
for
to,
us.
For us,
And she was willing to allow you to take the lead there.
Yeah. So she, but again, that's a woman wants security. They want security.
Yes,
they want
she
to
deserves.
know, hey,
she deserves security, right?
Yeah. So I think without her, I don't think without her pushing and driving me to become a better man, and trying to find my identity in what I did, I then was seeking a friend. His name was Gary Harwood, who was in 24 Hour Fitness, So he said, hey, I have an opportunity for you to become into personal training sales and membership sales. So then I started realizing I was a great salesperson.
Okay.
Because I was a people person.
Okay.
And then I had a passion. So I started learning how to, my craft. So selling personal training and selling people to programs, personal training programs, and being a trainer itself. Then going into, a point where I needed to go into membership sales. Because the ultimate goal for myself was I actually then realized maybe I would want to own my own gym someday.
Okay.
And I didn't even know how that all would work out. And then what happened was then Gary had a close friend. His name was Larry Gurney, and he was the president of 24 Hour Fitness for the region. And I didn't even meet the guy, but he had this idea of wanting to open up some gyms in the South, and basically Tennessee. And initially he said, well, the name of the gym's going to be called Fats. I'm like, Fats Gym? Who's going to join Fats Gym? So I'm like, that's not going to happen, And he's all into acronyms, just like AIE was, So it's like Fats, it's like fitness, health.
Okay, it was an acronym.
Aerobics,
okay.
some kind of acronym. But anyway, he ended up. A funny story about that, he ended up getting some special group to kind of like say, hey, what do you think about this new gym called Fats? And everyone's like, oh, that's horrible, So he's realizing, okay, that was a horrible. So he ended up calling an acronym called The Rush. And The Rush is the remarkable, unbelievable, sensational high. And it was like an amusement park with weights. So now we're bringing a flair of California style to Knoxville, Tennessee. And that was in 2000. So we ended up leaving California, and my wife believing in my vision to want to, get in that kind of career.
Now, you've given me two things there that I really want to work with. I hope we have enough time to do this.
Sorry.
Your wife believing in you is something that the men are always discussing, needing that. Let's talk a bit about how that cushioned you, how that comforted you, how that gave you a level of sanity, and I guess you would call it emotional competence more so than psychological, because if the woman is not pushing you or is not persuaded to believe in you, then it gives you a great deal of hesitation. You've seen it. You've seen a lot of men have to deal with it as a leader yourself. And the inability to have the resolve to just go forward with all that you can. You seem like you had the freedom to just go for it because she was there as a form of thrust behind you.
Well, my wife
to push.
has always been a woman of prayer.
Okay, that's important.
So she's prayed for me a lot.
See? Okay.
And the power of prayer, and knowing that she's behind me praying, and knowing that ultimately my goal is to provide, and to provide that the security, the shelter, and just being, I want to be the man of God that she deserves.
Yeah.
But
I've heard that before. I heard that before. Yeah, I mean, that's, true to life. That's something that's commonly expressed by me. I just always want, not just her, but the man of God that she deserves and the family deserves,
So I think then, when you're going to something that you're moving across the country to, she's lost her ability to practice law because she's now has to pass another bar exam for Tennessee. So the crazy thing is she had to walk out by faith, knowing, hey, I'm going to put my trust in this.
Say that again. She had to walk out on
faith.
On your faith.
Well, yeah,
my
faith to be able to say this is the direction where this family's
we're
going.
one. We're one in this.
Yeah.
And I just need you to know that I'm in it. We're in it to win it. But I'm in it to the end. We're going to get this thing done because I believe in you.
Yeah. So she saw the passion that I had for fitness, and then she saw we saw the opportunity to be partners in this new company called The Rush. So I worked at The Rush for 6 years, built a great company. I was the master. They sent me to pre-sales. So I pre-sold East Knoxville, Alcoa, Farragut, Oak Ridge, all these places. So I was great at starting the club and staffing the club and getting it all going. Then I go to the next one, you know. So I really had an amazing education in college going through these years, these 6 years. So I wasn't becoming a doctor. I just was learning. I was learning the business. I was learning processes. I was learning how to be, you know, how to sell personal training, how to create a process to sell personal training, how to lead young men to want to do what they need to do every day, and encourage them to be able to be the best they can. So I was learning my leadership skills. So I was learning how to build businesses through just seeing, you know, other leaders build businesses. And create these type of processes. So, and I saw those processes and really worked to motivate people. And then what ended up happening, obviously a sad story, is that unfortunately, you know, the rush was kind of in a situation where I felt that I had to lead the leadership, and then had a falling out, unfortunately, based upon compensation. And we ended up moving to Colorado to start a new thing called went to Colorado called Fusion Fitness, and with another partner. And I realized with that other partner, he was not wanting to put forth the work anymore because he was going through a divorce at the time. So he brought me out there because he saw how I duplicated it for the company. So he needed me to, you know, recruit me to get to where I need to go because I was successful. I think he saw that God's hand was on my life. Yeah. And he was.
It's obvious.
You know that I was, and I'm willing to do the work. So then what happened was I saw that I had to get off this train. So God was putting in my heart saying, hey, you know, I know you're here, but now you have to go somewhere else. So then I found Bill Smith, who actually runs Evans Fitness Club.
Right.
And
I met Bill.
But Bill Smith, so I ended up working for him for almost 10 years. Okay. And I was opening clubs down in Lower Alabama to Atlanta, Just Fitness for You, you know, and then Dallas. Went to Dallas and opened up Just Fitness for him. So in this whole process of time, I'm learning my craft. You know, I'm just learning how to set up clubs. I'm learning how to, you know, just do what I do. So it's just kind of neat. And then I left Dallas, went to Salt Lake City, you know, and open.
Man, you're getting a chance to go all over the world. I mean, at least all over the country.
Yeah, and I got to, you know, witness the obviously a lot of Mormon culture, but I got to be able to be a part of that. So then, still being there for a couple of years, then Bill calls me again and says, "Hey, we have this big monster club called, you know, Evans Fitness Club." And I need someone to put operations in there. We can't sell personal training. I can't do this and that. So I ended up working for them for about 3 years. And the funny thing about the whole story is his goal was he says, Ken, there's that club, Omni Health and Fitness or Quantum or whatever it was at the time.
It was Quantum.
He says, we need to put that club out of business.
Oh, wow.
So that's because he wanted to probably put another business in there, a bowling alley or something. He just didn't want to have another club there.
We'd heard that. You know, and that's where I met you at.
Yeah.
I first met you at Evans Fitness.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you sold me my membership. And yeah, and I really enjoyed Evans Fitness. Very unique fitness, you know, experience. But
so I, you know, with every project I do, you know, I embrace it with, you know, I put everything into it, you know. So I ended up leaving. We had some disagreements there, and he let me go, and he gave me a nice severance package. I try to figure out, okay, what's my next step? Do I open another, you know, gym locally? What do I need to do? Now that was a dark spot for me because now I'm not getting the regular income that I'm used to, and especially here at Evans, you have to really walk by faith in a sense because no one's going to duplicate that type of money that you're used to or comfortable to. So now you have to figure that out. So God's grace, we ended up putting that club out of business. So then now all of a sudden the Gold's Gym guys found out that they were going to go into that. So then, you know, I had to then figure out, okay, well, I need to go talk to these guys. Now, I don't want I don't want to be a manager. I want to be an owner.
There you go.
Because I can't. I need
But
to
by
own
now,
something.
by now, you've gone through so many different phases of the business that now there's something in you, a form of currency in you that wants to spend and purchase on another level because you feel within yourself, there's grace upon my life for more.
Yeah. I did feel like when I was back in the Evans, I really did feel like I was Joseph sold into slavery, knowing why am I here? Why, God, why are you bringing me?
Now, and see, that the reason why, so that's why I made the statement, because often we don't know how that God uses that. I call it a type of nudging to push us to a place where we're an offense to ourselves because we're not allowing ourselves to flow as the type of currency that we've now become. You can purchase on a different level, but you've got to know it. And you have to learn how to be essentially who you are. The dollar bill has to know that the $100 bill has to know that it's no longer a dollar. It's no longer 10. It's no longer 20. It can literally buy on another level. But until you know it, you'll continue purchasing beneath your worth.
Yeah.
And that's what your emotional, psychological essence begins to get from your spirit man as a dictation that will not let you be not offended within yourself. In case you didn't know it.
Yeah.
You were offending yourself trying to be where no longer you could find comfort because peace does not confirm something other than authenticity. Peace confirms authenticity. You want the peace of God, wholesomeness, shalom, where there's nothing missing, nothing broken. But the peace you're seeking for now is not going to be accommodational because God is calling you up. He's trying to move you out. He's trying to move you into your ministry. It ain't about money so much, but it's not without money. But it's about ministry, and you need to be free to do it by taking ownership now of your own time.
Yeah, and it's funny how, the enemy works because, like, most people at that period of time when I saw the Gold's Gym, they're like, you're crazy to open up a gym right there because it just closed down.
See?
And I said, well, you're not me.
Okay.
And you're not, you don't see my value. You don't see what I could bring to the table. And then what my partners
say that again. So you said you don't see my value because you don't see what I bring to the table. Yeah, I know what I bring to the table.
So the great thing about it is that when I went to Cliff and I went to Sean, my business partner now, I let them know. I mean, you can go look at my track record. I'd call Larry, call Bill, call all these people. You will not have to worry about this club. You can just do what you need to do with your lives and then let me come in here and do what I need to do for you guys to make a thriving, successful health club. Because I believed in myself, and over the constant years of being able to go through all those processes of time. I mean, you're leading, that's just 21 years, right? And then now it's 27 years of being in the fitness industry. These are things like, we were talking about your ministry and you being, since you were 14 years old, you know what I mean? That's amazing, right? Being called at 14 years old and just knowing what you're going to do. I mean, but it's just like, but that's where I felt like, okay, I know now I'm going to be the good shepherd in a health club. That is what I am.
I love it.
I am the good shepherd to my flock. All those members that are in there, roughly close to almost 9,000 souls in there.
Listen to that.
So here, how am I going to shepherd all the dysfunction, and make everyone happy? Well, it's impossible. So I have to be able to get into another level. So I am really just focused on the sense of just saying, okay, I'm going to lead and trust that I'm going to have a great team around me with my kid club, the people who take care of the children. I'm going to take care of the cleanliness of the club. And I'm gonna take care of the sales team, the people that come in there to. When you walk in the gym, you just don't walk in the gym thinking that you're gonna join a gym. Like you had an experience for me. You came in, coming into a church or whatever it is, you have fears, you have apprehensions, you don't believe in yourself, you have bad self-worth, and they're coming in with a gym with the hopes of getting in shape. Your goal could be weight loss, it could be toning and firming, it could be building muscle, it could be sports specific, and it could be anti-aging, or I want to be as independent as possible for as long as possible. Those 5 people are going to walk through those doors, and they're going to demand a certain level of outcome for themselves. And they got to have to believe in coming into Gold's Gym is going to give them those outcomes. And I'm supposed to tell them, okay, if you take this aerobic class, body pump, you know, because you like to lift weights, but you don't want to go out the weights because that scares you. So you're going to take this body pump class 3 times a week, and I want you to take this Pilates class once a week, and you're going to take this yoga class on Sunday just to kind of refocus yourself. When I'm sitting down and I'm writing down their goals, I'm figuring out how many days a week are you willing to come. The more time you come, the more calories you burn, the more time you know what I mean? The more time and effort that you put into this is going to have a better outcome for you. But my goal is to try to find as a shepherd or a person coming in the gym, I need to lead you into the orientation and talk with Brandy, and she's going to get all your starting statistics. You're going to learn about your basal metabolic rate. What is your basal metabolic rate? I have no clue what the basal metabolic rate is. That's how many calories you burn when you sleep all day.
Now say those words again.
The basal metabolic rate.
You need to slow it down.
Yeah, I don't know how. Basal metabolic rate.
Metabolic.
Metabolic.
Okay, there you go.
So that's how many calories you burn when you sleep all day.
Wow.
Okay, so I burn 2,500 calories sleeping. 2,500 calories sleeping.
Now, how does that affect your metabolism going forward and the energy you need?
So if I eat only 900 calories that day,
and you burn 25,
does my body feel like it's in the desert preparing to die?
Okay.
Heck, it does.
So
I need to eat small meals more frequently so it doesn't increase my blood sugars. All right? But the ultimate goal is to get people to understand your body is constantly consuming energy. But you're talking about shalom in your home, peace in your veins, right? Peace in your temple. Your body's a temple. So how I always tell people when it comes to health and fitness is that when it comes to working out, we need to help you burn sugar because your body's always looking for sugar, right? A carbohydrate. Now there's good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. Now God made good carbohydrates. If it's made by man in some degree, been processed, turned, or whatever it is, okay, it's going to be bad for you. But if you eat God every day, you eat a blueberry, a strawberry. Now He doesn't want you when you look at orange juice, apple juice. Well, man has made apple juice and orange juice because and you're eating 5 or 6 oranges or 5 or 6 apples to have 1 glass of orange juice or 1 glass of apple juice. So your body just wants you to peel an orange and eat an orange, or grab an apple and eat one. He doesn't want, but you start your morning with a big glass of orange juice in a big bowl of cereal, you know? So you just had one gigantic thing of sugar. So your insulin goes up crazy. So there's no shalom in your home there.
There's no shalom in your home. I like that.
You know.
So
you're
keep
doing.
Going there. This is beautiful.
So you're doing things to yourself that are destroying yourself, knowingly, because you're addicted to something of this world. Okay, man has made this worldly thing to be a thing of destruction for you. So what you do is you eat the wrapper that's in there. They designed it so it's crunchy, chocolatey, or whatever it is. So it's just like sin in our life. It filtrates. So when you let that thing go in slightly in the door, it's going to wreak havoc in your life. So we need to make a covenant with ourselves on the foods that we're cheating on. You wouldn't cheat on your wife, but why are you okay with eating a Pop-Tart?
Wow.
Okay, so I mean, you're willing to eat a Pop-Tart, but you're so great that, hey, I'm such a great person, I'm never going to cheat on my wife. But ultimately too, this, even if you see somebody with your eyes or whatever those desires, God, it's a heart thing situation anyway. So thank God for God, and He died for my sins, and He's covered those gaps, because there's sins in me that I don't even know that I have.
Yeah.
So I think that's nice, and to know that, hey, God is going to work on me, and He's going to make me the man that He needs me to be, despite myself, no matter what. And now I need to align myself when it comes to goals or the body or the temple. You're just willing to say, hey, when it comes to my body, I'm going to take care of this temple in a way that is going to honor God. He's giving you this instrument to spread the gospel. Now, we can be overweight and spread the gospel. We can have a person, too, who's in shape, but spiritually, if you look at them spiritually, you don't even want to look at it. You're like, man, that's ugly, So he's all jacked up, but spiritually, he just has nothing. So it's a combination of, hey, I need to have a balance of just saying, hey, I need to be humble. I need to come in there and realize that, hey, I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need a personal trainer. I need to align myself with people at the gym that are doing the same thing, that hold me accountable, that I'm able to do the impossible when I think, so it's just kind of, you're like you said, you're aligning yourself with people that are doing sometimes the things that you're not doing yourself.
Yeah.
So you're surrounding yourself with people that are going somewhere.
Yeah.
Versus you where you're going, you're surrounding yourself with other people that are going to go eat, whatever they want.
When you see seniors to the tune of 75, 78, 82 years old with a commitment to be in the gym 5:30 and it's 9:30 and you're just arriving and you're in your 60s, you look around and you say, am I really as committed to me as I thought I was? Well, in my case, my day starts with devotion, probably 4:30 in the morning, and then after my devotions, then I make my way to the gym. But I always got to satisfy the demand of me and God first from that perspective. Yeah. But I go into the gym, and I'm learning things here that you're saying about, that I want you to keep talking to us about, as far as not being true to the temple, cheating the temple, cheating your own temple. Not cheating on the wife, not cheating on the husband, not cheating on the children, not cheating on the economics, but cheating on the temple, the place that God resides. And that needs to be given first priority.
It does, because when you think of, the health care, and if you get free health care or you're paying for your health care, it's kind of like you got to start caring.
You got to start caring.
You have your own health care, and you got to care for your health care. It's like this, and you. What happens is there's a lot of, it comes to that point of self-worth. I'm too old, but your muscle cells are the same muscle cells that they were when they were young, when they're old. They just need to feel a stress, because those muscles are connected to tendons. And those tendons are connected to bones, and those bones feel that stress, so the bone wants to get stronger. So you fight against osteoporosis and osteopenia. So when you're working out with muscle and you're working on that resistance, it's also a fun to be able to go through that struggle too. Because though you're struggling out there in the life, it's making you stronger. You go into the gym and you struggle with the weight. Yeah, it makes you stronger. And it's preparing yourself to be able to, if I can get through this workout, and it's consistency over time gives you the results. So if you're not consistent, you're not going to get the results.
Say that again. It's consistency.
It's consistency over time gives you results.
Same thing we preach with the gospel.
Yeah.
This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night, until you observe yourself doing and being according to all that is written therein. then shall you make your own way prosperous, and you shall have good success. Consistency over time.
And that's what's a wonderful thing is that you have this testimony over time. So you might be coming in here 50 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight, whatever it is. But what a wonderful testimony you will have in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Because I will say, I want to be the grandparent on the playground that's playing with my grandkids versus being on the bench watching.
Wow, that's good. But you notice that about the music. That's a good segue. That's a good place. Man, I want to be the grandparent on the playground playing with my kids rather than the grandparent who's on the bench.
Watching everybody else.
Watching everybody else.
Have good health.
Yes.
And why are they happy?
That is so important.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, I tell you, this has been a treat. I'll be honest with you. Listen, I don't know where your membership is, and I don't know who the club owner is or the director, but we've got something special and anointed over at Gold's Gym in Evans, Georgia. Listen, if you're anywhere in the vicinity, if I were you, I'd make my way there, not just because I get a chance to exercise and be fit, but because someone there can actually assist me in navigating through what's there for me to do the right thing by me. And that's why this has been such an empowering segment.
Yeah.
Ken, give us something to remember on the way out, man to man.
I think just everybody, we need a roadmap for success. So a lot of times why people are not successful is they don't write down their goals or they don't write things down. Just like for you, you have your discipline of saying, hey, when I wake up, I do my devotional. You're creating that consistency. So I think with all men of success or just people that are successful, I think it's really important that you write down your goals.
It is.
And then you align yourself with other cheerleaders, other people that are doing the same thing, and let through the small groups at a gym and the people that you meet, they're going to inspire you with unique, beautiful relationships to keep doing the race and to keep trying to finish this race, strong, and then just to know that, hey, in everything I do, I'm gonna do it to the glory of God, and I'm gonna really come into this workout, and I'm gonna use it as worship to the Lord, in a way that, knowing that it's gonna be good for my body and good for my temple and great for my soul.
Well, my workout is gonna be worship to the Lord. And on that note, listen, man to man, don't forget, every second Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. In fact, there's a possibility that Kim will be with us the next second Saturday. We'll see. He'll be one of our featured speakers or guests, and he'll be able to assist those of you who are struggling with your health in any kind of way, so that, brothers, we can really learn how to be good before God in multiple ways. We don't just need the word, man. We need it all.
I will plug one thing too, and what's nice is we do have a men's Bible study on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. So
yeah,
I just welcome any person to come to that study, even if you're a member or not a member.
That's good. There you have it. Until the next installment, man to man. All right, brothers, finish strong. Praise God.
Amen. Thanks, Pastor.